So the product of the day is fire insurance, commercial policies. In fact, fire insurance is such a popular category which is used as non-motor products in almost all the segments of general insurance, because any commercial risk requires a fire insurance policy. Fire insurance became popular in the year 1666 when a great fire of London took place. That fire tragedy consumed 13,200 houses, 87 churches, most of the city authority buildings, and destroyed the 70,000 houses out of 80,000 houses of the city. So that was such a horrible tragedy which made the people aware of the fire insurance. Today also the fire insurance is most popular category, and in this category almost all the basic principles of general insurance are applicable. If you ask me what are the basic principles, I'll tell you: principle of insurable interest, principle of utmost good faith, principle of proximate cause, and principle of indemnity. But at the same time, the principle of indemnity do have its two corollaries, which are known as the subrogation and contribution. They are also equally applicable to the fire insurance. And the most surprising factor is all these basic principles are applicable since the day of commencement of the policy to the expiry of the policy. In other words, while taking the insurance, these all principles are applicable. While settling any claim, these all principles are also applicable. Now, mostly for any building, plant and machinery, equipment and accessories, furniture, electric fittings, any kinds of storage, maybe raw materials, semi-finished, finished goods, pipelines, utilities, tanks, these are all subject of fire insurance, and they are all insurable under the fire insurance category. So if you say, what does fire insurance cover? How does fire insurance works? So for all these things, maybe building, machinery, merchandise, furniture or any other property which is insured under the policy, by any means, if it is lost or damaged due to fire, that is one peril only, and with the allied perils, in that case, this policy will compensate. So, from 1st April 2021, IRD introduced 3 new fire policies. One of them belongs to the residential houses, but the remaining 2 relates to the commercial risk, and these commercial risks are insurable under these 2 policies, subject to the sum insured limit. But what the IRDA did, they made lot of changes keeping in mind the interest of the policyholders. Because whatever step the IRDA is taking, all that step favors the policyholder. Why? Because policyholder is the real buyer who is taking the insurance. If he will take the insurance, then only the insurance will increase and the penetration of the insurance will also increase. So the question is, unless the benefit of the insurance is given to the policyholder, unless the cost factor, benefit factors, coverage factors, these are favorable to the customer, he will not buy the insurance. So whatever steps the IRDA is taking, those all steps are favorable to the policyholders. So keeping in mind their interest, IRDA introduced 2 more policies. These policies are known as the Bharat Sukshma Udyam Suraksha and Bharat Laghu Udyam Suraksha. So they are also fire policies. So when we say fire insurance, it doesn't mean they are covering only the fire risk. Fire is only one risk which is covered under the policy. Basically, fire means the production of light and heat by combustion or burning. So there is said to be fire within the meaning of fire insurance when there is actual ignition, fire is purely accidental, and there must be something on fire which ought not to be on fire. So this is the loss which is caused by the one and only exclusive peril of the fire insurance. But there are 13 other perils. But this fire peril is most common because in most of the cases loss of damage is caused by the fire only. And this fire hazard is such a hazard which needs only three things. One is fuel, second is oxygen, and third is temperature. When these three things are clubbed together, they catches fire. Because oxygen at concentrations about 23% in air. So the situation becomes dangerous due to the increased fire hazard. Now, fire for fuel for fire means anything. That could be solid, liquid, vapors, gases. When we say solid fuel means wood, fabric, synthetic material, packaging material, papers, they are all subject to fire. As far as liquids are concerned, any flammable liquids. Say for example nitrophenol, ammonium nitrate, potassium chlorate, paint and oil, cotton or cellulose soaked with sulfuric acid. So in different varieties, they are all subject matter of fire insurance. They can all catch fire. Even the human body of the persons and animals can catch fire. So fire and meanings under the fire insurance means even the smoke damages are covered, water damages when fire is extinguished are covered, property demolished by fire brigade to prevent fire is also covered, damage done by firemen in executing their duties covered, losses incurred by insured in attempting to check the progress of fire to save property are also payable. Damage to property during removal from a burning building is also payable. Damage due to falling of walls as a result of fire is also covered. So it is not the case whatever is burning that is covered only. No. Even the fireman or even the safety man who is doing fire extinguishing operations, during that time if there is any loss due to fire, due to smoke, due to falling of wall, they are also payable. Because before fire, there was nothing. When the fire took place, then only all these losses are taking place. So they are all accidental. They are the result of the fire only. So they are covered. Now who can take the fire policy? Anyone who has the commercial property, who is owning a property which is used for the commercial purposes. So owner of the building, shopkeeper, educational research institutions, hotel and boarding and lodging houses, industrial and manufacturing units, godown keepers, bailies, lesser, lessee, banks, traders in stock, trustees, charitable institutions, transporters, they are all engaged in commercial activities. So since they have got the insurable interest in their property, they can get the fire insurance. Any person, firm or organization or institution who may suffer financial loss in the event of operations of any insurable peril may insure such property under the fire policy. So the scope of the fire insurance is very wide. For all commercial purposes, fire policy is there. But when you are giving a fire policy, you must classify the risk. Because there are various classes of the risk. So you see the construction of structure, occupancy, nature of flooring, height, floor and wall opening, exposure, light, heating and power, place or situation, protection. And this policy is already continuing what was the previous claim listing. These risks are classified because in huge or large risk, the risk engineer is inspecting and he is recommending all those factors in his report to accept the risk or not to accept the risk. Because any of the factors can create the risk. Say for example, lighting. Now lighting system in that commercial unit is such that all the wires and cables are nude. They are not properly installed. Anytime any short circuiting can take place. So this one and only risk can cause the total loss to the entire premises. Occupancy. If the occupancy is related to say the clothes, the wood, the metal, nothing is risky. But occupancy is say fireworks, chemicals, highly inflammable items, hazardous items. In that case, the occupancy will be rated with the higher premium as well as the proposal may be declined. Because certain companies that do have their decline risk, there the hazardous occupancies, riskiest occupancies are excluded. So now the IRDA made a lot of changes in these two policies because the previous policy, that is standard fire and special peril policy, was very complex in nature. That doesn't provide the complete coverage. There were mis-selling in that policy because of the two set of perils, RSMD and STFI, which were allowed to opt out. And there was no clarity of coverage. There was no standard method of deciding the sum insured. These all drawbacks and shortcomings were solved in these new two policies. So these new two commercial policies can be issued up to the sum insured of 50 crore. Their name will remain as it is, Bharat Sweet Mudram Such and Bharat Mudram Such. Maybe it is Eastern region, Western region, Northern region or Southern region. Names will remain as it is. Because the policy will be known by these names only. Only the prefix can be used as the short name of the insurance company. All earlier add-ons have been merged in these two policies. And IRD allowed the insurers to go for new add-on covers. Whatever new add-on covers were submitted by the insurance companies, they all were approved by the IRD. And previous add-ons covers are merged in these two policies as inbuilt cover, as the basic cover of the policy. So these policies are applicable from 1st April 2021, maybe for the new risk, for renewal risk, or for market or lower case. So even in business package policies, which are normally used by all the general insurance companies of India, because customer demands, and a package policy, one single policy is enough to cover 10, 12, 15 risks. So nobody wants to spend more time on filling the proposal form for each different policies. There is no purpose of taking separate policies also. So the commercial units prefer to take a package policy which is providing 10, 12 sections. They can opt as per their flexibility and they can pay the premium for whatever section they have selected. Only two criteria they have to fulfill. One, fire is mandatory section as section 1, that has to be selected. Two, minimum 2 or 3 sections have to be selected. So both these criteria are fulfilled by the customers and they prefer to take the package policy. So all the general insurance companies are making number of package policies. We have got plenty of package policies like business protection policy, Shri Shopkeeper policy, office care insurance policy, hotel and restaurant, educational field insurance. They are all package policies. and they all cover the fire section as section 1, and that section is mandatory. Without selection of that section, the policy cannot be given. So there again, the important thing is, if the sum insured is less than 50 crore, either the Sukshma Udyam Suraksha policy will come into force or the Laghu Udyam Suraksha policy, according to the sum insured. And sum insured will be decided on this parameter. Now what is this parameter? The Sukshma Udyam Suraksha will cover the risk up to 5 crore only. The Laghu Udyam Suraksha will cover the risk from 5 crore and above to 50 crore only. And over 50 crore, there would be standard fire and special peril policy, either or, and asset or risk policy. That is a compact policy that is also covering the FROP, burglary, MROP, etc. So this sum insured would be on value of risk at one location. So this is the way how the policies will be selected. But the customer has to fill up the sum insured in the proposal form. Rest of the work the software will do automatically. Now for any risk, either it's a manufacturing unit or it's a non-manufacturing unit or it's a service provider unit or it's a storage or go down only or it's a utility or tank only. All these things are insurable under the fire policy because they are the subject matter of fire policy. The nature of risk relates to the fire only. Say for example, in a non-industrial risk like hotel, office, shop, hospital, where nothing is manufactured, where only these services are provided, they are also preferring the fire insurance because their building, their machinery, their plant or equipments, their furniture fixtures, even their stocks, they are all covered under the fire policy. And if it is a manufacturing unit, then definitely they have to take the fire insurance policy. Because whatever they are manufacturing, that has to be protected. And that is again insured by the fire insurance policy. So for all these purposes, fire insurance policy is must. Now when these policies were introduced, the 12 perils were introduced to 14. Tradition of peril was not allowed. Sum insured divided the policies. Like Sukshma Udyam was up to 5 crore and Laghu Udyam 5 to 50. Compulsory excess was also divided. Sukshma Udyam 5,000 in each claim, Laghu Udyam 5% of each claim. Minimum 10,000. And minimum premium was 500 plus GST and 10,000, 1,000 plus GST for Laghu Udyam. So that is the way these changes were made. Certain definitions were also changed. Because fire definition included now own fermentation, natural heating and spontaneous combustion. There is change in the bushfire definition also. That includes bushfire and jungle fire. Earlier it was not there, that was the add-on cover, available only on the payment of additional claim. Definition of impact change, impact damage was also changed. An independent peril called aircraft damage was merged in the impact damage category. 3 new perils added were the earthquake, terrorism and theft. Theft is for the limited means because exclusive theft loss is not covered. But if it is followed by any other peril, then that loss is covered plus theft loss is also covered from day 1 to day 7. But exclusive theft loss is not covered. Say for example, some droids are there in the market. So a rioter break a window, enter into a shop, took some article of 35,000, broke the window and caused the damage of 20,000. His ultimate aim was to steal, to commit theft, and he had taken the articles of 35,000 by causing the damages. Now this loss is covered under the fire policy. Why? Because he has not committed only the theft. This incident took place when the riots were there. So he was a rioter. So riots damage followed by theft is covered. So all the amount of 35,000 plus damage to window 20,000 will be payable under the policy. Now STFI and RS&D set of peril will not be excluded because they are stopped. In standard fire and special peril policy, they are still allowed to opt out. But in these policies, they are not allowed. Neither as per the desire of the policyholder, nor as per the choice of the insurance company. STFI and RS&D set of peril will continue from date of commencement of the policy till the expiry date of policy. They cannot be deleted from the list of perils. So earlier in the standard fire and special peril policy, 15 add-on covers are there. 15 add-on covers are there. And they are still there. Still there means they are still available on payment of additional premium. But in these policies, almost all of them have been merged with certain conditions. Almost they have merged. And the insurers were asked to go for new add-on covers. Say for example, additions, alterations or expenses or extensions, temporary removal of stock, cover up for specific contents. These are the add-ons which were insurable under the Eastern Fire and Special Peril policy on its additional period. But now they are part of the policy. The limits are also increased. The architects are very consulted and engineers. It is still 3% in the Standard Fire and Special Peril policy. Removal of debris is still 1% in the Standard Fire and Special Peril policy. But in these policies, these limits have been revised. 3% is 5%, 1% is 2%. Additionally, these add-on covers of the Standard Fire and Special Peril policy are still available on the add-on premium, additional premium. But here in these two policies, Sushmuddam and Laghuddam, they are merged. Start-up expenses, cost compelled by municipal regulations, stocks on floater basis, preloaded software, stock and interest, they are merged now. No premium is charged. But floater is one risk which is given for the go downs at multiple locations. Stocks at multiple locations. And these multiple locations could be within the state, beyond the state, but within the country, even within the city. So if the sum insured of that policy is less than 5 crore or up to 5 crore, nothing extra will be charged to cover the floater risk. The moment sum insured is exceeding 5 crore, 10% extra will be charged. Means this facility is not available for Sushmuddam. Floater risk is cover for stocks at multiple locations under one sum insured. My cement factory is there. I am selling the cement on Pan India level. Say Binani cement is there. Or City cement is there in Byawar. So my cement factory is in Byawar. But I am selling the cement across India. So I need to go down at multiple locations. Maybe Mumbai, Chennai, Delhi, Calcutta. So I go down at all these 4 places. And my stock in these 4 godowns may go up to 1 crore. So my sum insured for all these 4 godowns is 4 crore. And say this sum insured for my factory is 75 lakhs. My total sum insured is 4 crore 75 lakhs. If I am taking the policy with a floater cover, so the policy will be given to me. There will be no extra premium for covering the floater risk till it is not exceeding the 5 crore. So the moment it is converted into Sukshmuddam, then the floater charge will be there, otherwise not. Now the pattern of sum insured is decided, that is for all properties, maybe building, plant and machinery, furniture, fixtures, they all come under the properties. They will be insured on the reinstatement value basis. But for the stock means it could be raw material, it could be stock in process, it could be manufactured items. All these stocks are insurable at different valuation. And that valuation could be for raw materials landed cost, for stock in process input cost, for finished stock manufactured cost. So the sum insured may vary. Yes, tell me. Stock value has to be included in the sum insured, point number 1. Now, so the sum insured for the property will be on the reinstatement value basis, for stocks on the different value basis, and for the precious stones and precious items or curios or work of art, agreed value basis. Agreed value basis means the value agreed between the insurance company and the insured. How this value is agreed? Either on the basis of the invoice or on the basis of the valuation certificate. Because these are the things which does not have the specific value which we can identify merely by seeing. Because say some precious stone is there. Now me and you cannot understand whether this is a balloon, this is a diamond, or this is an emerald, or this is a ruby. We have no that skill. We don't have that kind of skill. But some expert can say what is the value of these stones, or otherwise what is the invoice cost of these stones. So for that purpose, agreed value is taken as the sum insured. Now since the properties are insured on the reinstatement value, that means the reinstated value would be the value at which the property can be replaced. The property can be replaced today, not on the date of insurance. That means current value is required. Say suppose I have purchased a building of 3 crore rupees. After 4 years, the price of the building has gone to 5 crore rupees. So when you are taking the policy after 4 years, your sum insured should be 5 crore. Don't go for the purchase value. Because when you are taking the policy, today the valuation of the property is 5 crore. If by any reason this entire property is collapsed, demolished, or totally lost, Insurance company is ready to pay you 5 crore, provided your sum insured is 5 crore. If your sum insured is only 3 crore, insurance company will not pay more than 3 crores. So don't consider the depreciation for these purposes. Consider the current replacement value. At what value this is available today? At what value this can be reinstated today? That is called reinstatement value. And this is normally taken in all cases of machinery, plants and equipments. Because the value of these plant, machineries or equipment keeps on increasing. Value of buildings and properties keeps on increasing. With the factor of time, there are a number of factors which are contributing to increase of the value. But the increase will be upward only. Unless some miracle is happening. Suppose that property has been seized, this is taken over by some unwanted elements, then the value will go down. Otherwise, under the normal circumstances, the value will increase. So the current replacement value should be the sum insured. But in case of goods, suppose it is sold but not delivered. So there the situation would be different, because the value of that goods may be lesser. But here the question is, once it is sold, that means at what price you have sold it. That would be paid by the insurance company, because that is ultimate loss. If after selling, if it is not delivered and in the meantime it has been damaged by water or by fire or by any other insured peril, the insured will claim the value at which he has sold it, and that value is called contract price. Insurance company has to pay that. Then there are certain innovative coverages. These innovative coverages are given with these two fire policies free of cost, because they are part of the basic coverage. And these are covering the risk of money up to 50,000, documents up to 50,000, computer data up to 5 lakh, and personal effects up to 3 lakh. Now the interesting part of the story is money. To cover the risk of money, you need the money insurance. But here, in fire insurance only it is covered. Documents like deeds, manuscript, drawings. 50,000 is more than enough amount. Though these documents are very important. But at the time of fire, these are lost also. Additional amount of 50,000 is covered. Computer data 5 lakh. Personal facts of visitors 3 lakhs. That is maximum 20%, 15,000 per person. So these innovative covers are given in these policies without any extra cost, because these covers are provided by the IRDA in these two policies, which are common to all the general insurance companies of India, because there is no difference in the policies, there is no difference in the name. All the general insurance companies are selling the same policies. This is not for your company only. They are common to all the general insurance companies of India. That has to be understood, because there is no competition on these things. Because this condition wording clauses are all same. The competition is only on the price. Competition is only on the add-on covers. That's all. If the price is less, of course, the customer may go to the other company. So the competition is always on the price. Contents, coverage, wordings, terms, conditions, clauses are same. Waiver of under-insurance is another benefit given by IRDA to the customers. If the value is taken on the restatement value basis, but due to any price fluctuation, if the value has gone up by 5%, 10%, 15%, still the interest of the insured will be protected. Because in case of under-insurance, there is the application of average clause, which is always deducting the claim amount in proportion of the under-insurance. So if the sum insured is not adequate, it is less than 10%, 15%, still the interest of the policyholder will be protected. If at all there is any loss or damage, nothing will be deducted from his claim amount. But in case Under insurance is more than 15%. Then the sum insured, then the insured will going to lose. Say for this example, suppose my one IT company is there in one office and I have taken the policy of 5 crore for that office. One fine morning there was a fire and my property of 1 crore damaged. When I filed the claim, the surveyor came who inspected the loss, took the photograph, and when giving the assessment of loss, he said to me, the sum insured is only 5 crore, while the value of your property is 5 crore 50 lakhs. So your sum insured is less by 10%. Your claim of 1 crore will be reduced by 10%, that is 10 lakh rupees you are going to lose. Now this 10 lakh rupees is a big amount. 10% premium saving by under insurance maybe in few thousands, but 10 lakh is a big amount. I will not agree for that. So here comes that protection. If the sum insured is underinsured up to 15%, nothing will be treated. My sum insured is underinsured by 10%, nothing will be treated. But if it is more than 15%, say 20%, 25%, 30%, in that case my claim amount will be reduced. I will not be paid the full claim. I am going to lose. As an insured, if I am going to lose, I will never be happy with the selling team. Maybe it is NBFC channel or your banker or whoever it is. Because this is the duty of the marketing team to explain to the customer that sum insured should not be underinsured. It must be adequate. It can be over-insured. They are going to lose nothing. If it is over-insured, you are going to lose nothing. In fire insurance, 2 crores are normal things. So here is one more example. Say suppose one of my showrooms, big electronic showroom, is insured for 4 crore rupees. 3-floor building is for 3 crore and stock for 1 crore. One fine morning there was fire and some loss of 50 lakh rupees is there. Well, when the loss was reported, surveyor came, physically inspected, verified the loss, he reported that the insured premises is not fully insured. Because the value of the property is 3.5 crore and the value of stock is 1.5 crore, so its policy must be of 5 crore. Against 5 crore, if you are taking the policy of 4 crore only, that means you are insuring for 80% only. There is under insurance of 20%. If the loss is there, claim amount will be deducted by 20%. So here that clause will not work, because that clause is protecting only up to 15%. This under insurance is 20%. Insured has to do 10 lakh rupees because of his no fault. So this kind of mistake should not be done. Now stock island trust. Now this is covered without any additional premium. This is most useful for the different kind of commercial activities. Say for example a dry cleaner shop is there or a motor vehicle garage is there. So in a dry cleaner shop, none of the clothes is belonging to the dry cleaner. They are all belonging to the customers. He is not the owner of any cloth, carpet or curtain or drapers. So if there is any loss due to flood, fire, earthquake or by any insured peril, you have to pay the entire loss to the customers. Because all customers will want the money. They have given for dry cleaning, not for damage. The damage has taken place in the shop of dry cleaning. So earlier this risk was not covered, but now stock handling trust is covered. This stock with the dry cleaner is under a trust, that is the dry cleaner, he will dry clean. Unless we are giving him, how he will dry clean? Similar is the case with the motor vehicle garages. In the garages, you will find all the vehicles belonging to the customers. None of them is belonging to the owner. So if at all there is a fire or any total loss, it is the duty of the garage owner to pay the compensation. Now it is covered under the stock handling trust category. So he will pay the loss. Similar is the case with the additions, additions or extensions. If my 3-floor building of an IT company is insured for say 5 crore rupees, but I feel the accommodation is not sufficient, I will go for one more floor. Means I am going for some extension, that is additional. So I spent 40 lakh rupees on one floor. Now the value of my building has increased, extension is there during the policy period. Sum insured of 5 crore is underinsured now. What I have to do? Intimate the insurance company within 7 days. Pay the difference amount of premium. Your risk is covered. So additional accelerations or extensions are allowed now. Nothing wrong. In standard fire and special peril policy, unless the add-on cover at the time of beginning is taken, this risk was not covered. Now it is covered. So the basic changes made in these two policies are: sum insured will decide whether it is Sukshma Udyam or Laghu Udyam. Compulsory access is different. That is 5,000 in Sukshma Udyam and 5% in Laghu Udyam, minimum 10,000. Start of expenses limit is covered in 1 lakh rupees in Sukshma Udyam and 5 lakh in Laghu Udyam. Floater is inbuilt in Sukshma Udyam, means no additional payment is required. But in Laghu Udyam 10% additional is there required. And this minimum premium is also different. So that has to be seen. Now other features. If during the policy period, at any date, if insured come to know his sum insured is not adequate, he can request the insurance company, pay the difference amount and get the sum insured increased. Sum insured can be increased even during the policy period, provided there is no claim. Because the maximum liability of the insurance company is the sum insured limit. Compulsory excess cannot be changed, maximum liability cannot be changed, but sum insured can be increased by paying the difference amount of premium. So previous add-on covers are now merged, new add-on covers are available. So those add-on covers, we have got 8 add-on covers in 2 attempts. And first attempt we filed 4 add-on covers. Those were approved by the IRB. Installment protection up to 50,000 per EMI, claim preparation cost, loss of rent, additional expenses of rent for an alternate accommodation. These 4 add-on covers can also be sold together with the policy. By selling these add-on covers, there is a benefit for both of you. To the selling team, premium will be higher because there is an additional premium for every add-on cover. For insured, his coverage will be higher. Means coverage will be broader. Because suppose the loanee is there, loan is taken by the entrepreneur. He will prefer to cover his loan amount. He will take the installment protection at the add-on cover. So 4 add-on covers we got in the first installment, first attempt, and thereafter in second attempt another 4 add-on covers were also approved. These are accidental damage cover, involuntary betterment, expenses for loss minimization, and escalation. So these 8 add-on covers are available which you can sell under the policy. Now, as far as the stock is concerned, in the proposal form, the detail of the value and location has to be given. If the maximum sum assured is 5 crore, nothing will be charged. If more than that, extra payment will be taken. Now the question is, who will take this policy? Normally the entrepreneur will take, obviously. But if there is a change in insurable interest, then the situation will change. Because if it is sold, buyer will take. If it is given on lease, lessor will take. If it is let out to any tenant, tenant will take. So it goes with the insurable interest. Now restoration of sum insured. This is another important factor of the fire insurance policy. If during the policy period any claim is availed by the insured on the policy, sum insured will be reduced by that amount. And for the unexpired period of insurance, the reduced sum insured will continue. Say suppose my policy of 5 crore was there. During the policy period, there was a loss of 1.5 crore. I claimed that. So insurance company settled my claim of 1.5 crore. But when the insurance company paid the claim to me, my sum insured remained only 3.5. And this 3.5 crore sum insured will continue to the expiry of the policy. Now, unfortunately, if there is another loss during the policy period, so that loss will be assessed on the basis of under insurance because the sum insured is not adequate. In that case, I will reduce it. I will not take this risk. What I'll prefer to pay difference amount of premium to restore my sum insured. And that is always better and advisable. Now, when you get any proposal of this policy, each proposal has to be sent to the underwriting department supporter. Why? Because the rating will be done by the underwriting department. Decision on acceptance and declining or rejecting will be taken by the underwriting department. And once it is quoted and agreed by the insured, the policy will be issued from support of the department. So the quotation for each Sukshmuddam and Laghuddam and the extended fire and special credit policy will be issued by underwriting department. So this is all about the fire insurance. Now if you have any questions, you can ask me. Any doubts? If no, just check your mail ID. Have you got the test paper? Anybody can confirm. Please continue. Please continue. 10 questions are there. Simple 10 questions. Take your time as per your choice. Attend them all. Once it is completed, click on the submit button. It will come to you. Continue, sir. Once you are completing and submitting, you can exit.